Right. What is the measure of angle Z in the parallelogram? Once again, we have a problem. We have letters in there. So in geometry, that means you use one of your properties you're studying to set up an equation, solve for your variable, then we'll be able to come back and try to answer the question. Okay, so let's begin. What do we have here? We have an angle and an angle. They are opposite each other, and it does say it's a parallelogram. We know opposite angles in parallelograms are congruent, so that means that angle Y must be equal to angle W, which also means that this 3n plus 12 would have to equal the 4n minus 8. We want to solve for n. That means we need to get our n's on the same side, so this 3n here, to move it, I would have to do minus 3n. Whatever you do on one side, you have to do on the other. So on the left, I still have 12. On the right, 4 minus 3 gives me just 1n minus 8. Now I want to get n by itself, so I have a minus 8 here. I need to do the opposite to move it, and do the same here. That gives me n. 1n and n are the same thing. 12 plus 8 gives me 20. So my n is 20. That's not my final answer. Okay, why is that not my final answer? Because they asked for the measure of angle Z. Well, I don't even have markings for angle Z. But what I'm going to do is take my 20, put it back into here, and find angle W, and we'll go from there. Okay, so angle W is 4 times n, so 4 times the 20 minus 8. 4 times 20 is 80. Minus 8 is 72. So now I know my angle here is a 72-degree angle. Again, we want to know what's the measure of angle Z. They're not opposite angles, but they are consecutive. Notice they're next to one another in the figure. What do we know about consecutive angles of parallelograms? The ones next to each other. Well, properties of parallelograms tell us that those are supplementary or add to be 180. So angle Z plus the 72-degree angle together should be 180, and I can go ahead and find my Z by subtracting 72 from both sides. And I get 108. So this figure is obviously not drawn to scale, but we always go with the properties rather than the visuals. All right, next, the perimeter of parallelogram CDEF. So let me draw that first. So just a general parallelogram. When you label it, go in order. So C, as I go around the figure, D, E, F. Okay, don't skip around. Just go in a circle around the figure as you label it. Find the length of segment FC. So that's what I'm trying to find, is from F to C. If segment DE is 8 centimeters longer than segment EF, it's not 8. Okay, I'm going to have to back up. My plan was not going the way it needed to because they put some more work into it for me. So let's reevaluate. My picture's still good, but it says if segment DE is 8 centimeters longer than EF. So I want to start by calling EF my X. Okay, then DE is 8 centimeters longer than that. So DE would be X plus 8. Now I know that doesn't look right, but we go by what they give us. I could even redraw my parallelogram so it made me feel better. But make sure you have it right. So DE is 8 longer than EF. So DE should be plus 8. Very good. Now let's put in our opposite sides are congruent, so CD would be X, CF would be X plus 8 also. The other thing they told us is that the perimeter was 68 inches. Well, perimeter is when you add all of the sides together. So all of these sides added together is 68, and that's the equation we're going to use to find our X, and then we'll find the side they wanted. So we know again the perimeter is 68, so these sides added together, so X plus an x plus 8 plus another x plus another x plus 8. Get all four sides together. Those add to equal 68. Combine your like terms. So x's, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. X plus x plus x plus x is 4x plus 8 plus 8 is 16 is 68. We want to solve, so we're going to subtract 16 from both sides. Try and get that x all alone. Gives me 52. And finally, 4 times x. I do the opposite and divide both sides by 4. And I get 52 divided by 4 is 13. X is 13. Is that my answer? Unfortunately, no, it's not, because we need to keep going and get what they wanted. They wanted me to find the length of FC. So then I go to my figure. FC was x plus 8. My x is 13, so FC would be 13 plus 8, which is 21. So now I have my answer. FC is 21 centimeters. All right, in the parallelogram PQRS, QT is 3x. So let's label it as you go. TS is x plus 3.4. RT is 4y. So from R to T. And TP is y plus 6. Find the perimeter of triangle PTS. Okay, so where is that triangle? Let's mark it so we know what we're looking for. Triangle PTS is this triangle right here. So in order to find its perimeter, we have to know the length of each side. Well, this side is 7.8 because parallelograms, opposite sides are congruent. These other two, we're going to have to solve for x and solve for y and then put them in to find the number. So let's set up an equation for x, where we have 3x here and x plus 3.4 here. In a parallelogram, the diagonals bisect each other, which means QT and TS should be congruent. So 3x should equal x plus 3.4. Solve for x. I'd have to move the x's to the same side. 3 minus 1 gives me 2x. Okay. Do the opposite of multiplying by 2. Divide by 2 to solve that. And I get that x is 1.7. I wanted the length of the side. Okay, so I'm going to put that back in. 1.7 plus 3.4 is 5.1. So I'm going to redraw my triangle down here. So far I know this side is 7.8. This side is 5.1. Next up, we're going to find this side PT. It's y plus 6, but we don't know y yet. We do know that the other half of the diagonal is 4y, and again, diagonals bisect each other, so these two should be halves. They should be equal to one another. So my equation I can use based on my property is that y plus 6 equals 4y. I want to solve for y, so I need to get y's on the same side. I subtract this y. For y minus 1, y is 3y. And divide both sides by 3. I get y equals 2. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Is that my answer to the problem? No. We needed that so we could find the length of this side, so we could find the perimeter of our triangle. So now we take that y, we put it up here. Y plus 6, this side is length 2 plus 6, which is 8. So now I have all three sides and I can find the perimeter, which is what they wanted. So the perimeter is 8 plus 7.8 plus 5.1. It's the sum of all the sides. and I get 20.9 for my perimeter. Okay, so what did we do? We set up an equation to solve for x. Okay, based on the fact that diagonals bisect each other, we knew these two were equal. We set them equal and solved to find x, then put it in to find the length of our side for the triangle. Then we set up an equation for y. Again, why these were equal? Because they were two halves of a diagonal. We solved for y, put it back in to find the length of our side. Then we were able to add the three sides to find the